Hey there, love, and welcome back to another episode of Heartfelt Hustle, the podcast for founders, creatives, and visionaries who are building businesses with soul, strategy, and sustainability. I'm your host, Sush, and today I want to talk about something that so many business owners struggle with, but quietly. And like, really, no one wants to talk about this enough. Well, to be very honest, on the surface level, we kind of talk about this, but we still don't kind of talk about this. Yeah, I know. I'm kind of maybe building some tension. Am I? Anyway, Trace, coming back to what I wanted to say is that today we are going to be talking about why selling feels hard, why it can feel sticky, overwhelming, or even emotional at times, and what to actually do when that happens. This isn't going to be like a, I don't know, a pushy episode, but this is going to feel more like a real talk one. And yeah, we are going to be talking about so many things here. But yeah, so if you've ever found yourself, or if you know anyone who has ever found themselves hesitating to promote their offers, struggling to show up consistently, or even maybe showing up but struggling to be consistent with sales conversations, or wondering if it's just them or if it's just you, then and is kind of trying to figure it out, like what to do, why, or maybe what's the reason behind this, then this episode is for you.
Welcome to Heartfelt Hustle, the podcast that dives deep into the heart and hustle of entrepreneurship, where our dreams meet reality and where our passions fuel our success. I'm your host, Sushmita Jain, a loan strategist and operations director, founder of an outsourcing agency. Most of my clients call me the right hand woman, and most importantly, a curious soul as well as a nerd. I am here to share my experiences. I am here to share my insights. I am here to share practical tips that will help you build a thriving and a sustainable business. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a seasoned business owner, or someone looking to infuse more heart into your hustle, I am here and this podcast is for you. Each week, we'll dive into topics ranging from reconnecting to your passions, your soul, your why, and overcoming the roadblocks of your growth journey. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dig in into this heartfelt hustle together.
I want to start this episode with a story that I have never actually talked about, or I've never been open about this ever in my life or in my journey, like ever. It is literally few, like I can literally count those people on my fingers with one hand, is the number of people who know about this. So a couple of years ago, and this was the time when I launched my current agency, which is like my second agency, which is the outsourcing agency that I still run today alongside with my consultancy business. And things took fast, like things took off like really, really fast. We even hit nearly, or we hit actually not nearly, but six figures in under 5 months in revenue. And it was one of those, rare moments in our life and our business when we feel that, things are aligning, the offer is right, the audience is ready, and we are in our own zone of genius. There's this sweet spot we've hit, and I was just having fun, enjoying it all. But then, life being life, something happened that shook me to my core. Someone I knew, someone I trusted, someone I even back then called as my friend did something, and they did not see my growth as something to celebrate. They saw it rather as competition. They started bad mouthing me. They started, or they were saying things behind my back, trying to discredit the work I was doing, trying to ruin my reputation. And you know what the worst part is? Well, of course, I did not even know it was happening until a lot of damage was already done. So, yeah, when I finally found out, I was heartbroken. Like, I was shook to my core, like I said. And to be very honest, even just talking about this right now, my heart is pounding because it's a trauma response from my body that I'm getting. But I think it's time I kind of address this because there's so much here that we all can learn from. And of course, when I found out, I was heartbroken. We did what we could do to do, like literally do damage control. We cleaned up what was needed to be cleaned up. We built things back up. We slowly brought the agency back to a place of growth, and we are, growing and thriving. But this is the front end we're talking about. Yes, my business is growing. I'm doing things I love, and things have been touch wood, you know, on the smoother side, is what we can say. But there's also this, behind the spotlight things that happen, which we don't kind of talk about, like what about the emotional trauma? Did that heal even overnight? Did I or could I damage control that? Could I just clear it up with maybe burning some smudge or sage or anything like that? Of course not. It did not heal overnight. And it even took me some time to even realize that there was some emotional trauma associated with that episode. Like now, what I'm realizing, what my body's feeling, how I'm reacting to it is after I've healed so much. And that's the reason why I can actually even utter a single word out of my mouth about this. Like years prior from now, my response would have been other. And even to be very honest, for over a year after that happened, I did not actively actually sell anything in my business. You know, we were doing client work. Yes, when the referrals were coming our way, we were being, and I think to be very honest, still till today, for especially the agency work and done for you services, I only work with people who I know personally, and we only take those clients. We haven't had random inquiries being accepted to actually work with us. So it's even with, so there's obviously there's still some trauma, there's still some healing needed, but yeah, here we are. So back then, for over a year, I did not even do any active selling. We did client work. I showed up on social media here and there, but I wasn't in it. I wasn't leading my own growth, because something in my body, something in my mind had somehow equated visibility with vulnerability. I did not feel safe to be seen, so let alone selling was another game at all. And that was the part that I clearly wanted to address in this episode, because if selling has felt hard for you, if you've been or if you've been feeling you've been playing small, you've been avoiding maybe launching, you've been holding your own growth behind, or you've been holding back from getting out your offers, I want you to look back at what is it that's truly actually happening. I do not feel that you lack discipline, or I do not feel that you're not doing this because you don't know enough of strategy or you don't know how to sell. You know, like if you like something, you're just gonna tell people about it. So if you like something that you're already doing, why would you not actually tell people about it, right? So it might be because something in you, emotionally or energetically, or somewhere, something is there that doesn't feel safe being seen. And that is the reason why you are not doing things in your business the way you would like to do. And if after me saying this, if you're thinking, oh my God, fuck, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, how am I gonna work through this? Let me tell you, it's okay. And you're just being a human. You're running a business, you're leading with your heart, you love what you do, so it makes so much sense. The response you're giving or the response you're having at the moment, that truly makes sense. So, for a second, let's zoom out, from the outside or from the external point of view. What does selling look like? It looks like we showing up on social media, we writing posts, we showing up on video, we having like a funnel to sell, like which is set up, we launching offers, so on and so forth. Obviously, I could just keep talking about this, but you get my point. But what is it that we actually do not realize about selling? You know, you can't execute a strategy if you feel somewhere something is lacking, or you feel somewhere something isn't clicking or isn't aligned. You can't sell confidently if you kind of still trying to figure out something, or you're you're literally trying to fight something which is like some thoughts or something that's happening in your mind, or even there's, like we say, if your nervous system is dysregulated, or you can't call in clients if you're constantly doubting yourself in some way or the other behind the scenes. And that's why in my own work, whether it's with, done for you launch support, or whether it's with the strategic consulting, whether I'm asking questions to, my members in my membership, I always look beyond the surface level stuff and I go deeper. I try to dig in what's actually happening there. I ask questions, or I try and understand that what are the beliefs that are running the show, here, or what causes maybe my clients to tense up when they're trying to do something that maybe they're forcing themselves to do, or what systems can we actually create to help them do things in a way they would like to do. So in this is what I mean when I say selling is an energetic act and an act of self leadership. You have to lead yourself first to actually lead others to commit to what you have to offer. And when your sense of safety gets shaken, whether it's with burnout, whether it's betrayal, or whether it's simply years of maybe you trying to prove something or do more, you can't just hustle your way through it. Seriously, just can't, you know. And this shift came for me, and that's when I actually stopped trying to perform and I started leading myself again. I stopped selling to prove, but I started, or in fact, I stopped overgiving in my free content and I started, or let me put this in a far more better way. I actually stopped selling to prove. Like I said, I stopped overgiving in my free content and underselling in my offers. I stopped waiting for permission to actually own my value. I rather simplified, I rebuilt what I had, and I reclaimed my own voice. In fact, I think it's obviously, if you know the story behind this podcast, you know this. I think that's exactly how I even reclaimed my voice to even start this podcast because, like, 2 years prior from now, it, like, yeah, Sush 2 years prior from now wouldn't even have dreamt of having a podcast. But yeah, so if you are in this same kind of space where sales feel complicated or emotional or exhausting and you're trying to figure it out why, I want you to hear this. There is indeed another way. And in fact, the reason why I've been thinking about this episode or this part of my story is because I've been working on building a three-part experience or a three masterclass series, which is called as the Selling Code, and that is what has inspired me to actually create this new experience of mine, where I will be teaching you, you know, and we will be talking about different aspects. And in fact, the day one of Selling Code is going to be or is called as the internal code. That's what it is going to be about. This is just day one. And this is literally me just giving you teaser to what all we will be talking about on day one. We will talk about why sales feel icky, the energetic cost of doing more versus building systems, and we will talk about rewiring our lenses and so much more, so much more. Like, seriously, I'm still right now just working on this, but I'm just, like, it's like, wow, like, i've I have all of this wisdom that I've gathered over all of these years and things that I've implemented on my own self, on my journey, and tested out with clients, which I feel the world needs to know. And that's exactly why the Selling Code right now is free for you to sign up. Like, seriously, it cannot get any better than this. Like, it's almost my birthday month. It's 1 month right now from my birthday, and this is my birthday gift for you in advance. So, if you are ready to stop shrinking and start showing up as the authority you are, this series is going to literally meet you where you are right now. So make sure you check the link in show notes and sign up, right? So I want to leave you with this today. Your voice is needed. Your offers are fucking valuable. And your story, yes, even the painful parts of your stories have wisdom. They are the parts what make or literally makes your business powerful. So you don't have to do more to prove your worth or for you to prove you're being worthy of paid or to actually work out a way to grow from what you're currently making out from a business. You simply need to maybe work on the internal code and all the other aspects which we will be talking about as well, which I might share in the coming episodes on. Like, I'll give you kind of like maybe a teaser because now that I'm actually having this conversation with you in this episode, yeah, I'm liking the idea. So we'll see what the next episode will be about, but let's get you in the Selling Code because this is not just going to be the masterclasses. They're going to be awesome, amazing, juicy worksheets. There's going to be so much more that I'm just working, and these are just concepts and ideas in my mind. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more building. So, yeah, even I'm curious, and I am, yeah, building this experience right now, and it's so fun, so exciting. I'm just having fun. So, yeah, that's it from me for today. If this episode did resonate with you, or if you know someone who would actually love to listen and resonate with this based on what maybe they're going through right now because you know them that well. What are you waiting for? Share this episode with them so that they can listen and then you guys can have, like a chat about it. And if you have been loving the episodes on this podcast, make sure you drop in a review below because that is gonna help other people tune in because, yeah, we're just human beings. The more we can see what we have available for is being loved by others and how because ultimately when someone's listening they're going to invest in their time, which is the most precious resource. So if they can see that what they're going to be investing their time into is going to be so much fruitful for them, of course they're going to be jumping in, right? So yeah, anyway, Trace, that's it from me for today, but I will be seeing you soon in the next episode. Bye for now.